Well, hello today to Life with Purpose. I'm talking to my friends and my followers in English, and this is a video that I've been wanting to do for some time now, and I decided to go ahead and get started. I'm going to have a version in Spanish with my friend Luli, and I'm also going to have another version in English with my friend Dolly. But I really wanted to start because this is something that I feel that aside from my profession, from my writing, my teaching, my tutoring, my coaching, my journalism, I wanted to do because this is the faith part of me. This is the part of the religious, not religious, but this is the how can I say it? Yeah, I guess the faith part of me, where every day in order to accomplish all the things that my family is accomplishing and all the things that I am accomplishing with my clients, with my friends in the same business, or with my students, with everything that I'm creating in terms of writing, in terms of teaching. I owe it to Virgin Mary. Virgin Mary for me has always been there. I don't know if some of you believe it or not. I respect everybody's opinion, but I wanted to share my beliefs in terms of how having the Virgin Mary there. So, um, briefly, since I was 6 years old, I started encountering these experiences with her. I remember that I was 6 years old, and I was in the cemetery with my mom. My grandfather had just passed away, and mom was there. She went there with me to take some flowers for my grandpa, and I while she was praying and crying and just sitting there by the tomb, I just wander around, and I kept walking around close to my mom. I stayed, I remember, but I was looking at all the wonderful, the beautiful angels that were in the cemetery. And I remember that I stopped and I stood in front of a beautiful, huge, I mean, and for me, like a little 6 year old, it seemed like beautiful and big. I had never seen anything like that before. And then in the cemetery, there were different angels, with wings and all that. But I had never seen the Virgin Mary. And right there and then, it was just a huge statue of the Virgin Mary right there, a few steps away from where my mom was. And that was the beginning for me of starting to love, understand, and welcome into my heart, or even it would maybe was already there, but understanding that, yeah, in fact, she was already there. And then throughout the years, I continued I started to pray. I continued to think of the Virgin Mary, and honestly, not so much when I was younger than when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, again, I had a little virgin in my room. I don't remember, to be honest, how I got to have her. I remember that when I moved from one country to another, uh, that was going to be the third country I was going to be living in. It broke. It fell on the floor and it broke, and it broke my heart as well. I started crying, and it hurt me so much to have broken that little statue that I had of the Virgin Mary. And then through the years, everything has been her love, my love for her has been increasing and increasing and increasing. And even in those years where I was too busy with my family and with my career and with my studies, and I didn't pray as much, and I didn't think of spirituality that much. I always kept my Virgin Mary in my heart, and my thoughts always went to her whenever I needed her, whenever I needed to say thank you. thank you for giving me this. Or whenever I needed to cry and scream and say, help me, because I need to do this. I need to accomplish this. I need to, my family, for this to happen to my, in my job, or with my family, etc. So this month, this month is the Virgin Mary's month, and I wanted to celebrate. I wanted openly to celebrate. And since I have this podcast and I have this Zoom, and then I'm working with my Life with Purpose and Camino con Propósito and the Camino Press.com, and my books and my writings, I wanted to dedicate this out loud to her. And I just wanted to learn more about her, because even though I've had a lifetime with her, I still feel that there's so much more to learn. Just like when you think that in life, you never stop learning, you always learn something. So I wanted to learn with her. More about her. I realized that I always loved flowers. I guess everybody likes flowers, but I started liking flowers in a very special way for some reason. They smell different to me. It took more time for me to walk by them, because I would stop to look at them, to touch them, to feel them. And it was something, it was something strange. I'm like, oh wow, I'm liking flowers more. Or maybe I'm getting older and I'm realizing that this planet had so many beautiful things, and flowers is one of them. So when I did the Camino de Santiago de Compostela, when I did the pilgrimage in 2019, that I told you that I'm writing a book about it, almost finished with it. And that's one of the publications that I have coming up, one of the books that I have coming up, Walking on Heaven, my book on the Camino. um I saw so many flowers as I was walking on the trails from one town to another. And that's when I started saying, oh, how beautiful. And I would stop, even though I was tired and I needed to keep going, because, to get to the other town, and I needed 2 or 3 more hours of walking. But I stopped to take a breather and to say, oh, wow, look at these flowers. There were so many beautiful flowers that I'm like, oh wow. And then now doing a little bit of research, and I want to I want to show you some pictures from the Camino. But at the same time, I also, before that, I want to tell you a little bit about it. I was writing one of my blogs, and this is going to go on one of my blogs as well. But this month is the Feast of Mary, and I wanted to tell you a little bit more about it in relation to the flowers. I learned about her without even knowing who she was at the cemetery. When my grandfather died, I walked away from my mom, who was putting flowers in grandpa's tomb, and went to a huge, for my 6.5-year-old girl, I saw a beautiful angel who was wearing a robe. Years later, I started seeing the Virgin Mary wearing a blue mantle, representing a sacred and valuable hue. Deeply rooted in Catholic symbolism, the blue of the Virgin's cloak has been interpreted to represent the her purity. I have to edit my blog right here a little bit to represent her purity that symbolizes the skies. Another color that she wears is white. It's an important color in the women's suffrage movement and symbolizes integrity and morality. If you notice, when Mary is painted or portrayed, she represents 4 symbols. And I didn't know this. So I just wanted to share with you what I found out. The 4 symbols are Columbine, the symbol of the dove of the Holy Spirit; Mary's overshadowing, indwelling divine spouse. The second symbol is Pansy, Trinity Flower, symbol of the Trinity, first revealed to Mary. The third symbol is Strawberry, fruitful virgin in flower and fruit at the same time. And the fourth symbol is everlasting, symbol of Mary's eternal loving dedication in heaven. So, through time, I became more familiar with her symbolism and legends of Mary's flowers. They serve to make us meditate and reflect on her life and mysteries and to increase our love for her. She has many flower symbols, those of the Nativity, her loving nurturing of baby Jesus, and in the motherly work for Jesus in their Nazareth home, of her sewing and cooking, of her garments and household articles, and all her love as Jesus grew in strength, grace, and wisdom. Especially this year, I began to see, really see, the beautiful flowers around me. And although they've always been there, like I told you, they've always been there. It is this year, I must admit, when I am truly realizing the beauty and gentle power of the flowers on this planet. These are some flowers inspired loving thoughts of Mary. And these are the flowers. I wanted to share a screen here a little bit, and I wanted to tell you about the flowers, but they are white lily, Annunciation lily, symbol of Mary's immaculate purity. There's violet, symbol of Mary's humility, regarded by the Lord. There's monkshood, which I didn't know that name, Our Lady's slipper, symbol of Mary's graceful visitation trip to visit Elizabeth in the hill country. All her steps were most beautiful. The fourth one is thistle down, or thistle down, another name that I didn't know, another visitation symbol from its graceful movement in air currents. Then we have the rose, symbol of the blessed virgin of prophecy, the rose wherein the divine word was made incarnate. Then we have daisy, Mary's flower of God, Jesus. Then periwinkle, virgin flower, the blue color recalling her fullness of grace. Columbine is the eighth flower that represents her, symbol of the dove of the Holy Spirit, Mary's overshadowing, indwelling divine spouse. Then there's Pansy, Trinity Flower, symbol of the Trinity, first revealed to Mary. Then strawberry, fruitful virgin, in flower and fruit at the same time. And then lastly, everlasting. I didn't know there was a flower called everlasting, symbol of Mary's eternal love, loving meditation in heaven. And so I just want to thank, I want to give credit to John S. Stokes, John S. Stokes Jr., who wrote the article, Earthly and Heavenly Flower Symbols, Flower Symbols of Mary on Earth and in Heaven for the University of Dayton in Dayton, Ohio. So it's amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Stoker, for providing me with this extra information about Mary and her flowers, because I wasn't too aware of that myself. So what I wanted to do now is I wanted to share a little bit the screen. Let me see if I can do it. Share a screen. I think I closed all my other things that I always have open as I'm working on my computer. Here we go. Okay, and let me see if I can find the flowers for you real quick, because, oh my goodness, these are so beautiful. Okay, Flowers of Mary. Here we go. Flowers of Mary. And here, I want to bring them up for you. And again, I'm telling you all this real quick, but you can, you can find your own flowers. So here are some of the flowers. I still don't know exactly to match the names with the flower. But I just wanted to show you some of them. And here we are. This is my blog here, and here are the flowers. So there we go. This is one of them. This is beautiful, the white lily, and this is the Annunciation lily, symbol of Mary's Immaculate Conception. And this is, let me bring you this one here, the violet. This is the violet, and another wonderful, beautiful, beautiful little flower. And that's the symbol of Mary's humility. And then we have the here we have this other flower which is also violet, but I looked for them and they also have pink, like light pink. So this is the monk shoot, Our Lady slipper, a symbol of Mary's gracefulness and in her visitations. And then the other flowers, I have to, I need more space. Oh, so here is another beautiful flower that represents Mary. There's another beautiful flower that represents Mary. I had the rose in here, but for some reason when I uploaded it into this folder, it didn't come out. But then we have here, we have the daisy, and look how beautiful. It also represents Mary, and it's Mary's flower of God, Jesus. That's the daisy. And then we have the periwinkle. And periwinkle, this one comes in different colors. I didn't know, but this one can come in red, in light pink, in dark purple, white. This one is just gorgeous, beautiful too. So let me just put it out. And then we have, let me see, we have some more to show you. Okay, yeah, we have these two more. So we have this one's also so pretty, Pansy. I wanted to show you this one, the Trinity Flower. Oh wait, no, the Columbine, sorry, Columbine, symbol of the dove. Okay, there we go. In my blog, I have to make sure that I put the names under the flower so I don't get confused. But this is also another beautiful, beautiful flower representing Mary. And also, it comes in different colors. Not only that white in the middle, and then it opens to purple, but it comes in blue and light blue and dark blue. And it's just gorgeous. And then another one that I have here that I wanted to share is, we saw you already, is this one. The strawberry. Did you know that the strawberry have flowers? Because either I misread or this is beautiful. So this is like the strawberry flowers. So this is the collection of flowers so far that I have that I'm going to put together in my podcast and in my blog as well. And these are some photos that I wanted to show you regarding my Camino journey because of Mary and because of my belief in Mary. I was able to, this is just another book that I'm writing, that I'm putting together. But because of Mary, I was able to do the Camino. And this is also, I'm going to show you a few pictures where I found out more about Mary's, about the flowers related to Mary. And there were so many flowers on the paths and on the roads and trails that I walked, that I started realizing, oh wow, so these are amazing flowers. And then I see how they had to do with Mary. So these are just some wonderful friends that I found in that year and to this day. And here is also another walk telling me to go through this trail. And here we go. So you might say, what does the Camino have to do with Mary and the flowers and all that? Everything is linked, everything is together. Because throughout the Camino, I found a lot of flowers. And of course, every time I entered a church, um, I found Mary, and there she was for me. So I have to say it, and I've always said it, and I have to say it out loud. Here she was, oh, so beautiful in this simple church. And there's me and also a group of my friends, the Camino, from Spain and from Brazil. We just had such a wonderful time. And here is a poem that I found and that I kept in Spanish. I would have to translate it. And here again, in another small church, there's Mary again. So I kept finding Mary. I worked for 43 days. So in every other day or so, every 2 days, I would go to a church, and I would she would catch my she would catch my attention, definitely. So this is the smallest and humblest church that I found in El Camino, and so Mary was there. And that's one of the stories that I don't know if I should tell you quickly. Like, there was a nun there, and that was her job. That was her job. She said, in these last years that I have left, I want to receive all the pilgrims that come to this little church, to say thank you, to cry, to laugh, and to give them a little prayer of Mary. So that was some day, and that day was dark. It rained. It was dark. And I found Mary that day when I needed her. There she is again in the same church next to Jesus. And then again saying mother right here on the altar, and Jesus. And here is another one. I mean, here's the church, inside the church, and right, and in that corner, that's where the nun was sitting, and listening to everybody. So when I entered, I was so tired. I had already walked for, like, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 hours, and I still had a long, long, long walk to get to the next town. Yeah, and there she is again. There's another beautiful, beautiful image of her, uh, little statue in one of the churches. That's another church. And here again is one of my friends from Holland. We walked for many, many days together. And here is the day when I was walking by myself without any of my friends, because some went ahead and some stayed behind. So I ran into this wonderful experience. I don't want to say too much because that's all in my book. And here is another town, and here I am right here, and some friends that I found that day. And it was amazing to find those people that, like you, were tired, they were hungry, and they were looking for paella. There's a guy from France, a guy from Ireland, a guy from Norway. This lady, my friend from Norway, he's from Brazil. She was from Spain right there, but she lived in England. So beautiful, beautiful people. And then this is the paella guy. This is the guy that cooked for all of us. He made the paella. And before we started eating, we prayed to Mary. And he said very humbly, if you don't believe, if you don't want to, it's okay. Just give us a minute. Just give us a couple of minutes to say thank you to the Virgin Mary for all being here all together. You can say thank you to whoever you want to. And everybody was so condescending and so understanding. Even those who didn't believe, they just stayed quiet. And this guy here who made the paella, he brought some tears. He brought some tears to our eyes because he told his story and what he was doing there to serve us. And these are some of my friends of that day that we were getting ready. It was really early in the morning. We were getting ready to go to the next town already. We had slept that day there. We ate, we slept, and then we were ready to go. It was cold. This is Galicia. This is one of the towns that we went through. This is where my grandmother was raised. So I took a picture of the grandson of this woman, and he told me that that she was always working there. She was always working there. She would wake up in the morning, go back to the fields, work in the fields, and go back. And that town didn't have that many people, um, but they were really they were very religious in terms of loving Mary. So he told me because she didn't speak Spanish too well. She spoke Galician and her dialect. Uh, and it was an amazing experience. I was going to go through that town, just passing through, and I stayed there to have lunch and everything. Because those people were poor, but they were so humble and they were so nice. I'm never going to forget that. And then here is the next town, another town. And here again, people from all over. This guy from Venezuela, this guy from France. She is from Dominican Republic. He was from Germany. She, I think, from Ireland. He was from somewhere in England. She was from, I don't remember, South Africa, I think. I don't remember where he was from, but it was a big table. We gathered all together and we had our pilgrims lunch right there. And there, as I was walking through the towns, this woman, that was her business. She was making cheese and delicious, delicious cheeses. In fact, I bought one and I brought it home. I was able to do that. And here I found my friends again and another friend from Hong Kong. So here are the couple, Marciani and her husband, and my friend from Hong Kong, which we had met before. We got lost. We lost each other for a couple of weeks, and then we found her again. And here she is again. We are like walking right there. And so we stopped with this Brazilian crew here. My friends from Brazil found two more Brazilians. And so we had lunch there together and we were talking about the Camino and what we were doing there. And here's Marciani having a delicious ice cream there. And again, here I am with Marciani. And this is almost at the end. At the last town, here's my friend from Ireland, from where's she from? Ireland, yeah. And she's a lovely friend to this date. I love her so much. She told me her story about her family, what they did, the business that they had in the family, but she decided to just leave and do this pilgrimage. But a beautiful, beautiful, talented person. Here is the whole crew of we run into the Brazilians again. He was writing a book. He was writing a book on the Camino. So I remember that he had gone to war, he told us, and he was crippled. One of his arms, he could not move one of his arms. But he's like, this is not going to stop me from doing the Camino and writing my book. So he was such a nice guy. And here's Marciani and my other friend from Ireland. And here's when we got to the plaza, to Santiago de Compostela, right in front of the church, right there. And then we were missing Lily, another one, a friend of ours who walked the Camino for a couple of weeks, but she had to go back to work. She was from Spain. And then our friend from Brazil, who he wasn't doing too well and he couldn't do the whole journey, so he went back home. But that's why we have those pieces of papers with the names, just to say hello. We did it for us, and we did it for you. And then that's one of the bets. Where after that, I went to stay at a seminary, and it was a huge building, beautiful, and that was one of the bed. This is my cousin, Javier, and his partner, and they went to meet me there to walk um the last town, which was like what they call it, the end of the world. He took me to inside the church. I was exhausted. Honestly, I wasn't gonna go, but he's like, "You walk the whole Camino and you're not gonna go inside the church. You have to." So thanks to him, I was able to go in there. I'm like, okay, okay, I'm gonna go in there. Yes, that's right. That's true. So there I am. And then it's a tradition to go behind and hug Santiago de Compostela, so that's what I did. That's me hugging him from behind the prayer room. We went behind. And then that's my cousin. And then here we were on the way to the ocean, to what they call it, the end of the world. So here are some flowers that he's giving me there, and Daisy, one of the Virgin Mary's flowers. And that's the end of the world. Yes, finally, I cannot believe it. I did it. 000 miles left. And there we are, taking a rest because it's been a long journey. And yes, I did it. And here then I met with my other cousin who lives in the Basque region. I hadn't seen her. I had seen her when I was walking, going through her town, but I at the end we met again. So that's Celeste, and that's my cousins right there. So happy because at the end I was able to see my family and hear another cousin with his wife and one of his beautiful daughters. And then this is one of the entrances at the pilgrim hotels or places where we're going to stay, that they open at 12. So we needed to wait outside after we had walked from one town to another. Some of these places were still closed, so we had to wait. So there I am with one of my friends, two of my Brazilian friends. And this is where we were able to get water on the way. Some places we went through, they did not have water, but some other places we did. And that's us right there at the very beginning when we are saying, let's go, let's do this. And that again, that's my family, part of my family from the Basque region, my cousins and my little cousins. And that's my two big cousins. And that's one of the priests that signed that stamped my passport, because you have to have a passport, and that they stamp in every town, so that way you prove that you are a pilgrim. Okay, and this is one person that was so kind. It was raining that day. We were exhausted, I remember. And he's like, wait a minute, don't worry. Let me just bring something for you. And something was a huge bag of fruits, apples, prunes, plums, bananas, bread also. It was amazing. So to this day, we still communicate with him. He's wonderful. And a couple of my two Brazilian friends. And here is another epic place in the Camino de Compostela, the French route. And again, here having some lunch with some friends, including my Brazilian friends and my friend from Hong Kong. And here was before our friend went back home. He was able to walk part of the Camino. And my Spanish friend and my couple of my Brazilian friends, husband and wife. And that, by the way, they're doing the Camino this year again. And I was not able to go, but I'm planning to do it. And here I am with Marciani also, They had bulls running on the street right there. And here was in the beginning when we walked from France to Spain, in the Pyrenees. So that was something, that was quite an experience. We still saw snow there, as you can see. And that's I think a guy from England and another one from Dominican Republic. Because the beautiful thing is that there were friends from all over, and she was from Russia. Anya, she was from Russia, and amazing. I saw her the first couple of weeks, but she needed to go back sooner, so she went faster. And I think she walked less. I don't remember. Everybody had a different story and a different reason why to be there. And that's one of the restaurants that I went with my friend from Norway, Tune, and they were so welcoming. That was the father and the daughter, the owners of the restaurant that was next to the hotel that we stayed at. And that's how some of the hotels, some of the beds, how they look like. Sometimes you get to be on the bottom, and sometimes you get to be on the top. You can ask if there's availability, but sometimes once you get there, it's only $5. Some hotels, some are about 7, and some are about 10. And it's, it's whatever is available. So that's a place where you go and you pray for, specifically for people. I remember that year I took, that's my mother-in-law's picture. I pray for her. I pray for my parents. Some people even leave the names of their family on the wall. Um, some people just stay there to cry. There's so many stories. But that day I prayed for my friend Luz, my friend Isabel, her family, their families, my cousins, my brother, my brother's family, my daughters, my husband's family. It's so powerful, because even though you might do that every day, being there where everybody goes to pray for something or for someone you can feel the energy, how powerful it is. So yeah, that day I cried a lot. That there it is. That's how it looks like. So you go up a little bit up the hill, and then you place your prayers there. And that's one of the places they have. If you need water or something before you go, they have some drinks or waters that you can take. And that's Santiago de Compostela. That's just right there, just before getting to the plaza. That's the convent where I stayed in the last day. It was huge. And then I went with my cousin to what used to be my mother's house where she was raised. That's how it's look. That's how it looks like. And it has a couple of trees inside, and that's all is left from that house. Yeah. And again, a picture. Oh, I saw many pictures like that of people that they had rocks, one rock on top of the other. So yeah. So in there, I saw that I was just adding another rock. And my two little cousins, one of the last days that I stayed there, and that's when I got to the plaza. Everybody was yelling, everybody was screaming and jumping up and down, and I was exhausted. I just dropped everything, and I just sat there, and one of my friends took that picture for me, and I'm wearing my friend Luz's cap that she gave me. She had given me that as a gift, and I took it to the Camino, and I walked all the way with it. And that's some of the trails that I passed by. And that's it. Oh, I don't know what that's going to be one of the cover pictures. That I don't know. But anyways, so that's it. I'm going to stop sharing. And that's it. That's my Camino story of the book that is coming up. But thanks to going back to the Virgin Mary, thanks to the Virgin Mary, the quality of this video, I can see already that it's not that sharp, because for some reason my camera is not working. I don't know why. my extra camera, this camera that you put uh there is not working, but that's okay. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much, my Virgin Mary, for always being there for me. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Any questions? Send me a message through Laura at thecaminopress.com, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.